wants reparations. Reparations in my whole life I've only heard for black people. Black people. Who else? Well, the Native Americans, right?
Yeah, I mean, lots of communities have gotten reparations, but it's just restitution for a wrong that's been done. But
okay, let me just say it the way I want to say it. I ain't never heard of white people saying they want reparations.
Yes,
right? Is that that's? I mean, I didn't want to say it because my mom was white, so I just want to dispel any rumor that I'm being anti-white. I will never be anti-white, anti-Semitic, anti-black, anti-Latino. I'm not anti-American. I'm not anti-anybody. I love everybody, and guess what? I don't care what y'all doing as long as they ain't impacted me and my community. And when I say my community, gay, black, country, but everything coming out of the White House, out of the White House, is affecting my community, our community, your community. But y'all voted for it. After nationwide No Kings protest, President Donald Trump denies being a king, but is also demanding reparations for himself. Now, following the June No Kings protests, where 5 million Americans slammed Trump, 2 million more Americans and over 2,500 protests across all 50 states showed up last weekend, marking the largest protest in U.S. history against a sitting president. Well, if you want to see a photo of the No Kings protests in the cities, I keep a good receipt. Take a look. These are the photos. Well, Trump mocked American protesters with an AI video of him flying all over the protest and dropping poop on them. If you didn't see that and you don't believe it, we got that receipt. This is him in his fake fighter jet. By the way, he dodged the draft, right? Didn't he dodge going into the military?
So he had bone spurs.
Okay. And that's him putting poop all over American protesters because that's what presidents do. Now, I'm going to go ahead and mention it right here that you never would have allowed Obama to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, he stood in front of the American people and said the people who are showing up to this protest are not representative of America, which is crazy to me because as the president of the United States, you're supposed to be representing everyone, including the people who didn't vote for you. And for him to post this is just such a slap in the face when they are consistently saying that the rhetoric is only coming from one side. It's coming from him.
When the majority of America votes to put somebody like this in office that behaves the way they do with people of color and creates policy, federal policies like removing SNAP benefits, where all of the people in our country who rely on EBT in order to provide food for their kids and their families, which predominantly come to communities of color, communities that are marginalized, right?
Actually, I think the majority are used by white communities. It's a higher percentage of white Americans who utilize social programs like SNAP benefits.
That was me setting up Rob with the facts so I didn't seem completely racist. But no, it's okay because I know that there are lots of people who rely on these benefits. But when it goes back to policies and all of the things that we see that's happening and coming out of the White House, you know, the majority of America put him there. So we can't blame a person for showing you who they are because we believed him the first time and then you all believed in him the second time against all the evidence that he was going to be bad for marginalized groups and communities. Well, listen, D.L. Hughley, a friend to the show, he posted, and this is what he said. We don't need a fake video of Donald Trump dumping shit on America because we see it every day for real. What do you think?
Correct. Absolutely. Again, like, It's. I think it's just disrespectful to the American population for a sitting president to be this disgusting in their behavior. Like it's not okay, and they're going to write it off and say, "Oh, it's humor." But if anyone else would have done it, if Joe Biden would have done it, especially if Barack Obama would have done it, it would have been up. They would have been enraged. And by the way, to that point, 30% the breakdown of SNAP benefits is 37% white, 26% African American, 16% Hispanic, 4% Asian, and 1% Native American.
So most is people of color.
Mostly people of color, but the highest percentage is white Americans.
The highest percentage of a single race is high, but collectively, people of color benefit the most.
Sure.
Okay. Well, Vice President Vice President J.D. Vance also mocked their constituents with another AI video of Trump that he reposted, showing him being crowned king and his political rivals bowing down. Look, I don't think that Trump is aware that kings don't put their own crowns on. Other people put their crowns on. And why you have a sword is crazy. And is that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer? Okay. Somebody needs to report that as misinformation.
Mm-hmm.
When directly asked about the No Kings protest, Trump denounced being a king. because of course he tells the truth. Look.
What's your response to the protests over the weekend, the No Kings protests?
I think it's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. And I looked at all the brand new signs paid for, I guess it was paid for by Soros and other radical left lunatics. It looks like it was. We're checking it out. The demonstrations were very small, very ineffective, and the people were whacked out. When you look at those people, those are not representative of the people of our country.
Mr. President, besides San Francisco...
By the way, I'm not a king. I'm not a king. I work my ass off to make our country great. That's all it is. I'm not a king at all.
Well, we see you walking up the steps to the plane. You're not working your ass off at all. I thought I would say that. You're not a king. And that's the thing. What you are doing, in my opinion, and what you should be doing, I hope everybody watching, whether you're Democrat, Republican, because look, I fuck with Republicans and I fuck with Democrats. This is not Democrat or Republican. This is vendetta governing. This is you stole the election from me, even though it wasn't stolen, and I'm going to get you back. But getting you back is getting us all back, right? I'll be honest with you, and this is going to sound so bougie. I just want to say, I want to preface this. I don't even go shopping like I used to no more because the tariffs have passed to the clothing goods, right? So like you go in a store, a shirt that may cost, anyway.
I knew you were going to stop that.
Because it didn't even sound right coming out of my mouth. But no, a shirt that would cost $1,000 now may cost $1,300. And even though $300 more than $1,000, by the way, I know no shirt should cost $1,000, but if you do shop that way, $1,300. If you buy 3 or 4 shirts, now you've paid another $1,200. So that $1,200 could go towards other bills, food, whatever. My point is that everybody's feeling it. People with money, I may feel it differently than some of you, but this is what I don't understand if you're watching my show. If you don't make more than $1 million a year, $2 million a year, $3 million, $4 million, even those of us that are making all that, we still feel it. You should not be voting for people that believe what they're doing is right. Like, seeking $230 million from the Justice Department as part of compensation for federal investigations targeting him during and after his first presidency in 2016. Now, for Trump to win, he'd need a green light from people he appointed this year, like Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who used to be Trump's lawyer in all these criminal cases. So now hear me out. He's a brilliant mastermind. I'm saying from his vantage point, he ran, never thought he was going to win, won, have complete control of the government, and he's doing everything to benefit him and his families as part of retribution for believing he was wrong. I'm saying from his vantage point, masterful in the manipulation that everything he's doing to make his pockets great again was going to make America great again, and he used all of you fools to do it. Now I'm going to tell you a personal story. I was laying in bed the other day with somebody. Did I tell you the story?
I don't think so. I'm waiting for it. Wait, you might have. Yes, you did tell me.
And I'm single, so if anybody else has been in my bed, I don't owe you an explanation why it wasn't you. I'm laying in bed with somebody, and this person said, I voted no on Prop 50. What? Literally a turnoff. Because what do you mean you voted no for Prop 50? You all have to become more educated in your one singular vote that tied to all the others can change the direction of our country. So needless to say, we sat up, had a conversation in the moment about Prop 50, and he's going to go back and figure this out. I don't know how you fix a vote. Can you?
No.
Well, I told him to go fix it. Maybe I don't know how the process works either. But he hadn't submitted his he voted.
Oh,
he hadn't submitted.
Mailed it off.
Yeah.
Got
so
it.
he's going to go back and he's going to fix it. But this is the thing. This was masterful to get us all to, not us all of y'all, to believe in him the same way that Hitler did. And I'm not saying he's Hitler.
Same playbook.
When you do your research, how Hitler got in and how Hitler got into power and did what he did, don't think you're not going to see a Trump resort in Gaza. And he might fly there to cut the ribbon on that $400 million plane he got from a foreign country. And again, I'm not mad at getting gifts. I love a gift. I wish somebody would give me a $400 million plane. You know, where me and Rob would go straight to Brazil, then Dominican Republic, then over to Spain, then every other country where It'd be me, Rob, a doctor, Andrew, and Toway to film it. I'm just playing. But I'm just saying, and again, there's a lot of entertainment embedded in this because y'all wouldn't watch me if I was boring like Stephen A. Smith. This is literally me just like talking and painting a colorful picture because you're at work thinking you're going to lose your job because the economy is fucking struggling. And it's struggling because we're multi-trillion dollars in debt because of this guy. Not to mention he wants to fire the woman who runs the Fed because she's and won't bow to him. Who bows? People to kings. He's not a king. At least that's what he said. And you're going to be dumb in the comments. He's not a king. He believes in Jesus. Okay, well, guess what? Jesus didn't hang up on the golden cross, okay? Jesus didn't go hang up in the Trump Tower. Jesus wasn't reborn in the Trump Tower. All of you out there who have drank the Kool-Aid, like the people who drank the Kool-Aid and all died years ago with Jim Jones, I pray you all well. Because like I said in Stockton at the council, I'm going to say this now. My dogs sleep better than a lot of your children because they're protected, they're fed, they're taken care of, and they have somebody there for them all the time. And you don't have that luxury, not because you don't want it, but because Agent Orange is doing everything he can with his Congress to fuck you. And you know what? When I see it on social media, I just do this. Because y'all voted for it. Is that the right thing to do? Should I have a little bit more compassion? I mean, I'm using my platform. I'm transforming my city. I'm doing the work in Stockton. What more can we do? What should I be doing to get people to wake up?
No, I think you're doing what you should do. And again, like just the fact that we're having these kinds of conversations for an audience base that may be getting inundated with misinformation on social media, I think that's a priority. Again, like you even having personal conversations like the one you had in bed the other night, like having personal conversations with people so that they are educated on what they're actually, what these things actually mean and how it affects them is so important. Because again, like we are in a situation where this happened before. Misinformation is misinformation and people who don't have access to education are problems. Farmers are losing their farms again. We went through this last time he was in office, and now he's giving $20 billion to Argentina to bail them out, and our farmers are losing everything. And soybeans are being purchased from other countries now, Brazil, Argentina, everywhere else. But the farmers in this country are not being paid attention to.
Now, here's what I will say: if I was president, I would know how to fix these things. I'm not going to be the president. You know, I never thought I would be a vice mayor. I don't know where I'm going to go in politics because as much as I love making money, and I love making money, I do believe we need a course direction. We need a course correction. Sorry, not only in Stockton but California and our country. I do believe that. I believe California. If you just look at our state, this is entertainment leaving. When you start to see things leaving, you should say, what do I need to do to save it, right? LA, Northern California, everywhere across the state, got to go home at 1:45 from the club. Me and Rob, well, when we were drinking, well, he still drinks. We barely get liquored up at 1:45, right? New York, you don't go outside till 1 in the morning. California should be open until 4 or 5 in the morning. People should be able to do whatever they want to do and have a good time. The state is not safe. The state is broke. There's a lot that needs to be done. But we're so busy focused on the wrong things because y'all making the wrong decisions. Now, let's go back. In 2023 complaint, Trump had sought out damages after the DOJ investigated him for suspected Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. And in 2024, in a complaint, Trump alleges that the FBI violated his rights in 2022 when searching his Mar-a-Lago estate during a probe into his handling of classified documents after leaving the White House. Now, Charlamagne the God gave Trump Donkey of the Day, which I loved, and it was well-deserved. Let me give you a round of applause, Charlamagne. But Charlamagne, you better have your taxes buttoned up because you know they're looking into you. Because now that you're on the radar, he's put you over there on True Social. You know he's going to try you. Anyway, Charlamagne gave him Donkey of the Day. Listen.
They did. They rigged the election. And as you know, we had, in one case, 60 Minutes had to pay us a lot of money. George Slobodanopoulos had to pay us a lot of money, and they already paid. You know, they paid me a lot of money because what they did was wrong. And, you know, when somebody does what's wrong. Now, with the country, it's interesting because I'm the one that makes a decision, right? And, you know, that decision would have to go across my desk. And it's awfully strange to make a decision where I'm paying myself. In other words, did you ever have one of those cases where you have to decide how much you're paying yourself in damages? But I was damaged very greatly, and any money that I would get, I would give to charity.
I'm gonna tell you something. If he wasn't the president, he'd be one of my favorite supervillains. Okay, the man is asking for reparations for himself. All right, and he's gonna get it. Why? Because the senior department officials he's asking were defense lawyers for him, and now they are in jobs that typically must approve any payout. Do I have to tell you that this is a conflict of interest? Do you care if you are a Trump supporter that you might be starving right now? You have no idea how you're going to pay your bills right now, but he is about to pay himself whatever the hell he wants, but it's going to be $230 million. Listen, okay, that $250 million White House ballroom that Trump is getting built isn't going to pay itself. But don't worry. Trump said he's using some of his own money for the White House ballroom, but he hasn't said how much. And Trump says the project will be paid for with private donations and that no public money will be spent on the ballroom. So if we're keeping score, that's $480 million, right? Okay, so let's just say you're a Trump supporter. Your defense will probably be, well, the investigations against Trump was BS, so he should get reparations for what the government did to him. Never mind, it's unethical. Never mind, he's essentially paying himself. Whatever. And then with the ballroom, I'm sure you will say, well, that's not taxpayer dollars, okay? Well, what about this one? A $20 billion payout for Argentina. Bailouts for another country's economy? At a time like this? Is our economy flourishing? Is our economy booming? I thought it was Make America Great Again, but apparently America has been replaced with Argentina, okay? My fellow Americans, I ask a simple question. What is America First about sending $20 billion to another country while Americans are suffering? Now, some people say Trump is just using U.S. funds to influence a foreign election, which would definitely be a misuse of public money. Are tax dollars going to influence another country's election? Come on now. What is benefiting Americans right now about what's going on in America? Do Americans have money? Huh? How is this making America great again? How is this America first? I just need you all to know that the only thing President Trump cares to make great is his bank account. Okay, the only thing he puts first is himself. And I'm just here to make you aware of what's going on. Argue amongst yourself, because I'm not going back and forth with none of you MAGA bots on social media today.
It was well deserved.
Well deserved. And I love the fact that we're now having this conversation framed around the word reparations, because as you mentioned earlier, I think so many people try to equate that word with just black people being compensated for the wrongs that were done to our lineage. But like he's asking for, well, not asking, saying he's going to give himself reparations for the wrongs that have been done to him. Ridiculous. He deserved Donkey of the Day.
Are we ever going to see, speaking of donkeys, are we ever going to see 40 acres in a deal?
No.
Why is it that the Native Americans got reparations, but we don't get reparations?
I truly believe there is like the systemic hate that is rooted in people for black people specifically is like unmatched. There's something so deep rooted about people's hate and disdain for black people specifically that they cannot wrap their minds around the idea that there was a systemic suppression of black people in American society and that there needs to be compensation for it. Their families are still benefiting from slavery, and they don't want to acknowledge that fact. They're scared to acknowledge that fact, and they're scared to take care of the wrong that was done to people of color in America.
Elsewhere, a high-ranking White House official told TMZ the president is vacillating on a commutation for Diddy. Listen, as early as this week, despite other staffers arguing against it. Now, a few months ago, Trump seemed unsure what he was going to do about pardoning Diddy, and he actually spoke about it. Take a listen.
I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
Sean Diddy Combs.
Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something, but he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, you know, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great. And seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
Yeah, and it's hard, you know, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know. It's more difficult. It makes it more. I'm being honest. It makes it more difficult to do.
But more likely a no for Combs.
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what?
So I'll ask you: do you think Diddy should get a pardon?
No, and I think I think Trump is going to do this just to stop people from having conversations about Epstein, because he knows this is gonna get him support from certain people in our community. He's just gonna dangle this carrot, and if he does it, it's for the wrong reason.
Okay, speaking of dangling carrots, so if you went out and got a hooker today, or you flew in a friend that you knew was going to give you some for $50 or $100, I don't know how much they pay for it these days because I don't pay for hookers. But say, for instance, that happened. Should you go to prison for 5 years for that?
If there were other factors involved.
Hold on. Listen, you're trying to make this fit your argument because you don't like Diddy.
I never said that.
I'm not Diddy's friend at all. Let me first say that because I know back home in Stockton, they were like, oh, he was at the Diddy parties. Everybody was at a Diddy party. I wasn't at Diddy after dark. I've said that many times, but y'all don't pay attention. Okay, let me ask you. For 2 counts of prostitution, should a person be in prison away from their kids for 5 years? I mean, put your personal differences aside. I mean, personal feelings aside.
I just don't think that's a fair question to be answered in this circumstance.
Do you think an individual should be judged in a singular situation based on everything they've done over their life?
If those no, not based on everything, but if those factors involved other elements that influence them, yes, there can be an instance where you deserve a little bit more time.
If a Jason Lee camera followed you your entire adult life, would you work here at Hollywood Unlocked right now? Probably not.
I'm smart enough to not.
Probably not. But I'm just saying. I listen. We have to be more reasonable with ourselves when we're talking about opportunity or the removal of opportunity. Do I think that Diddy should own Revolt Network or all those things? I don't know. That's a lot to unpack in a couple seconds. But what I will say is that I don't believe 5 years in prison, away from your children, away from your family, away from your mother who's at an age where she could pass away at any moment, is fair for 2 counts of prostitution. Now, had he been convicted of all that other shit, it would have been way more than 5 years, and it would have been rightfully so. I think that people hate Diddy because of what he did to Shine, what he did to Cassie, what he did to Danity Kane. Well,
allegedly.
Because I ain't talked to Dawn, she ain't returned no more phone calls, and what's the other girl's name?
The white girl?
Yeah.
Aubrey.
Sorry, Aubrey. I'm sure I'm gonna get a message. Yeah, Aubrey, you know I know your name. I know you. I have a lot going on in my mind right now. I get it. I get why people want him to do more time, but 5 years for 2 counts of prostitution, no. Meanwhile, we're making all the prostitutes famous. I'm watching all these destroyers and anal destroyer, whatever their names are, talking about how they were cum dumping in Cassie. Like, I don't like the lunacy of the internet at this point has lost its mind. That's why I only do this here, and I can't do it every day because if I did this every day, I would be as sick as all of you. Well, on October, so now Trump is considering pardoning Diddy, and it's the division over at the White House. Not like you can have an opinion in a king's castle, right? You got to do what the king says. Mm-hmm. Well, on October 3rd, Diddy was sentenced to 50 months in prison, which is 4 years. And after being convicted on 2 charges of transportation across state lines for the purpose of prostitution, he was acquitted on more serious stuff like racketeering and sex trafficking counts, all the stuff that Rob wanted him to be convicted on. And Diddy's already served 13 months in custody. And with credit, he has about 2 years left. So I'm not going to say free Diddy because y'all ain't about to cancel me. Even though I can't be canceled, I'm not going to say free Diddy. But I would say that a pardon, here's where I'm torn on the pardon. I don't think he deserves 5 years, but I don't know that 1 year is enough for 2 counts of prostitution because I don't know that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, I don't know. But I understand why more people want him to do more time because you hate him. He beat his girlfriend up in front of the camera, which a lot of you are probably out there engaged in domestic violence. Let's just say that there's a lot of people that judge people's circumstances who are doing the same shit. They just ain't got caught yet. Like all the Republicans talking about, oh, I hate trans and gays, but y'all on Grindr sucking and fucking every weekend. By the way, I think if you're on Grindr, you are scum.
Don't look at me.
I didn't say nothing, but if guilt brought you here, hello.
Oh, my God.
All right, anyway, no kings. Goodbye.